Good evening, Peter. It is Tuesday the 12th of October. I agree that we should do NaNoWriMo. I actually recorded 2 videos on Friday, one of which I was in the car and I had the camera attached to my steering wheel and it was a bit crap, so I refilmed when I came home. And in the video in the car I talked a lot about NaNoWriMo, but I completely forgot to go over it again when I got home. So yes, you and I shall compete in the National Novel Writing Month, which means that you and I will have the month of November to each write one 50,000 word story. Or, you know, 50,000 words of a much longer story. Or even 51,000 word long short stories. Or 5 10,000 word novellas. The possibilities are almost endless. If we both get 50,000 words, no one gets punished! However, anyone who doesn't make 50,000 words will have to complete a punishment. I'm interested to know, are you getting in touch with the Melbourne Nano group and are you going to go along to the kick-off parties and the write-ins and things like that? Because I'm thinking of being much more involved in that kind of thing this year. I also think that during the month of November, you and I could possibly give each other some challenges to insert into our novels. That was me inserting something into my novel. Damon and I are continuing to watch Weeds, and I think we're just about at the end of the fourth season, and it's really not as good as it used to be. I really enjoyed the first 3 seasons when they were still in Agrestic and doing stuff around there, but now they've moved and I don't like it as much. Final thing I wanted to talk about tonight. As part of my prac, I'm teaching a Year 11 drama class, and currently they're working on a unit of comedy, and for their assessment they've got to write a comedic script. But currently we're starting them off on improvised comedy, and I am loving teaching them to do Impro. It's great. I started off quite broadly with just a couple of well-known Impro games like Where Have You Been and Space Jump and things like that, but I'm starting to get down to specifics. Like in my next lesson, I'm getting them to do space work, and so they're going to be doing that, picking up the glass activity that we did with the Edge Impro training, and I'm going to get them in their comedy teams to do ridiculous things like they have to all space work washing an elephant. I was going to do declaration lines, but there's just not enough time in a lesson. When you and I were doing our Impro training courses together in Brisbane, they were like 4-hour chunks on a weekend. I have a few 70-minute lessons to impart to them all of this Impro knowledge that I've got in my head, and so it's proving a little bit difficult. I would just love to do the entire unit on Impro, because I could do that. I could have them doing long form, I could have them doing short form, I could have them doing like a guerrilla Impro competition and all of that kind of stuff. But they've got to move on to stuff like Commedia dell'arte, which I also love, and then eventually entirely scripted comedic scenes. So that's what I've been up to, that's what I'm thinking about, and that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. Which, coincidentally, is when I will see you next.